there, welcome to the channel for Of Butterflies and Things, where we will be talking to Armin again, the ball jointed doll artist, about actually about minimees. So let's get started. Yeah, so minimees, talk to me, because I think you're very versed.
Yes, well, a mini-me is a head made to look like an existing person, basically, or an existing character. It's possible to do a character. So it's called a mini-me. I don't know who named it that, but there you go. These heads are usually designed separately, and so you will need to find a body to fit with them. They could be anything. They could be anything. You could a public figure or a private figure, a family member, your auntie.
I guess so. Yeah.
Or a fantasy, a character from an anime or anything. Really.
Yeah, so what's the process when somebody has an idea? Clearly, you know, you're a fan of something, or you really love blah. Let's say you're a fan of Star Trek, and you would like the characters in doll format. You need to find somebody to do the work, the artist. You need to find an artist for that, and you need to supply the artist with enough source material. So, what does he look like, and what does he or she look like? And so I will go and say, here's the DVD.
Yeah, then they will say, please, we'd like to have still pictures.
Right, okay.
Even more particular, if you want like a likeness of an existing person, you want clean photographs. If they are men and they have facial hair, try to find a couple of pictures without the facial hair, that sort of thing, so they can see the shape of the face and the jaw, because the facial hair really messes up the shape of the jaw. And there's always one or two pictures of a person without, because if they're an actor, they have to be able to play all the roles. So
yeah.
Even if it's not quite the right era, you have to decide what expression he or she is going to be having, and try to find some source pictures for that. So you give the artist all the tools they need to do it.
Okay. So, can you show me a mini-me you've done? And
yes, I can.
so I know there's this very handsome fellow sitting over there.
He's in the picture. This is one I did. Spock mini-me I did a while back. He has the fantasy ears, of course. And I did.
Specific Vulcan ears are not the same as elven ears?
No, I looked at the ears and got them right, of course, because otherwise, so definitely Vulcan ears and not elven ears.
Or hobbit ears.
If you're going to find, I actually was very familiar with the Spock character before I did him. So I knew what was important, but if you have like an artist who is not so familiar, you have to give them as much information and as much good pictures as you can, and point out, hey, with the ears, it needs to be this type of ear and not another type of ear. And you will have a discussion with them as the process goes along. About what you want. You will also give an indication of how old you want the character to be. If they have like a signature, like Mr. Nimoy had the signature character of Spock, so this is a Spock head and not a Nimoy head as such. If you wanted to say, oh, I wanted to have a Nimoy head instead, you would ask for something else. Yeah. But in the case of a character like Tony Stark, it's easier because Robert Downey Jr. he looks much like the character. He didn't have to do much for it, so it can be either way. Yeah. Still, you have to make a choice on which version of the evolution of the character you want or of the person, all matters.
Yeah. And talk to me about this guy.
Yeah, so I did him before I did Spock, actually.
Okay, so he came first.
He came not quite first, he came second.
Design wise,
he is second, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And the reason I started to do mini-mees because there was a service there was a sculptor in Korea who was doing these mini-mees, and I loved to buy them, and I love them still, but they stopped after a while, and they got tired, and it's a complicated process that can be tiring, and they tired out and decided not to stop, and so I went, but I still want my mini-mees.
Yeah.
So I learned to do it myself, which was a bit of a learning curve. And now I'm here, and I have a few more mini-mees floating around, but these are the ones that I think that I have here right now.
And can you tell me something about not just the head, but also what you did with the body?
Well, the big problem with the mini-mees is, and that's what problem we always had, is so you have a floating head, basically. You get just a head.
Yeah.
What body are you going to get for it? And this is 5 years ago. When it stopped, it was 5 years ago. So another 5 years before it was the heyday of the mini-mees from Korea. From South Korea, and the problem was that you have to find a suitable body. You have all the problems with any head to find a body, the right color, the right shape, right, because these mini-me's tend to be actually more grown-up people and fully adults. You had the problem that you need a certain width in your shoulders, and the most of the dolls available at the time were were late teen dolls, and narrow in the hips, narrow in the shoulders, and so when I did him, I was so happy that I was casting. He was cast. The head was also cast at Miro, but the body is a Miro doll body, and it's perfect for it. So I actually designed the head to be perfect on a Miro doll body, and also on any other doll of roughly the same proportions. Of course, the neck and stuff is within the standards for this type of head. It's I think I did a 10.5 centimeter neck for people who want to know that. So
I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they do.
They want to know all the details.
Possibly I have to check, but I think 10.5, between 10.5 and 11, and so any 10.5 and a smaller neck size will definitely fit him. For Spock, I'm designing my own dolls now, so he's actually on one of my dolls, an earlier prototype that is in a material I don't use anymore. I use the horrible blue material now, which I did my next, hopefully maybe my next excuse me, sorry, mini-me, which is Loki Tom Hiddleston one. It's in the blue material. It's the new material I use, which is horrible to look at, but very good for what I'm doing.
So this is your design, and
yes,
what happens to it to make such a result?
When the design is of course in a design material, so that's no good for final results. You'd have to get it cast. And with casting, you have to realize that you can't just order one. It's not possible. Even the most willing company, which is Mirodoll, who's willing to do a lot, will say we need for you to at least buy 5 of the heads for it to become interesting for them to cast it. Mm-hmm. And that's a really good offer, because other companies say 10 at double or more the price, and there's a whole bunch that say 30. You have to take 30 heads. 30 heads.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So you need to find 29 other people who want that head. I think that's a tall order.
That's a tall order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Finding 5 is doable. Finding
Yeah.
10 it becomes hard. Dolce will also cast for you. The quality is wonderful. The price tag is reflective of that, and you have to get 10.
Yeah.
10 other people
Yeah.
who will want one.
That's what you see most often is the request 9 other people to join them in.
The original minimees 5 years ago was always at about 10. And I organized one of the last group orders for that, and I talked them into letting us have 5, and I think we went with 7 in the end, but 5 as a starting point. But that was with Dimdol, and they don't do it anymore, so that's over.
Yeah, companies come and go, and designers
Yes.
come and go. Yeah. Okay. So, how long is it from the well, I suppose from the person starting the mini-me group order, it goes to the artist. The artist goes to talk to the company. They manufacture it, and then when can the group expect how much time?
Not that simple, unfortunately.
Ah, okay. Never is.
No. Some artists will say, okay, I will organize the rest of it and with the casting, with getting it cast. And some will say, no, I'll just make the head, you take it to casting.
Okay. So sometimes you need to actually talk to the company yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If I would do it, I know I would, but if I would do it, I would tell you, okay, we're going to have to go with Mirodol because I know Mirodol, I know how they work, and I can organize that part. But you will have to organize the people to buy it, to buy the heads. You can either buy them yourself or you can find other people to buy the heads. It's completely up to you. I don't do that.
Because you're the artist.
I'm the artist, and I will, as a favor, organize the rest of it.
And with the rest of it, you mean
the casting and all that. And for him, I talked to Mirodol for a special face-up because the face-up artist had never done a beard before, and Tony Stark has a beard. Robert Downey Jr. sometimes mostly has a beard. Yeah. So she had to learn how to do a beard. Sometimes that's possible, sometimes that's not possible. You'll have to take that one step at a time, and if your artist can't organize it, then you have to organize it. It's very simple.
Yeah. All right. Wow, this is quite. It's actually difficult and involved. It's not for your.
You're asking for basically a one-off.
Yeah.
So custom manufacturing of a one-off thing, it's unique, and that's going to reflect in the effort to get there and the price to get there.
Yeah, but there've been a lot of mini-me group orders, so it kind of feels like somebody will at some point do a Doctor Who, and somebody will at some point do, and I'll just tag along.
Yeah, if everybody thinks that, nothing happens.
Yes.
Which is sort of what is right now is happening. If you want a mini-me of a certain person, you have to get up and organize it.
Okay. Well, strong words, very clear language. Thank you for all this information, and thank you for watching. If you like it, then please give us a like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.
Bye!